can actually talk about what's happening in your life, then sure, you can be a part of this here cast and collect this bag. But like, if you're not going to do that, then you don't need to be here.
Hello, friends. We're back. We're Black and Curious. I'm Kendra.
Hey, hey, it's Tisha. How y'all doing?
Hello. And if you've never been here before, we do a cross section of pop culture and real life. And if you like pop culture topics and reality TV, go ahead and subscribe to us. We're here multiple times a week. We're gonna cover Love and Marriage Huntsville. Really, the reunions? I didn't realize this was gonna be a 3-part reunion. I feel strongly about 3-part
A
reunions.
3-part reunion? I don't think they've ever had a 3-part reunion. So
I
why?
feel strongly about 3-part reunions. I don't ever think
You
that they're
do.
necessary.
As I said, I know you do, child. You hate them.
Although, you know what I will say about this particular reunion? I think their cast was large enough to support it
Okay.
a bit. Yeah, I think they had a large enough cast and there was enough conflict with families and betwixt in between, and then you had the Lewis and Tiffany, who ended up being more like friends of, because they were headliners, but then
They left the
transitioned
show. So
out.
Homegirl was going through it.
Yes, and then Miss Nell and Chris Fletcher, um, in their drama and antics, and I think they'll be the main attraction for the 3rd part, as well as Stormi's family. So I think they had enough multi-characters, I guess, going on to support the 3 parts. Like, I'm not over it quite yet.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, let's talk about it. So part 1 of the reunion, first of all, I want to say that I absolutely detest Mel's dress.
Like
Ugh,
fucking tinsel.
it just wasn't good. And it wasn't a good dress to sit down in, I think, because you lost everything. She just looks like a blob on stage with silver boots.
Tinsel.
Yeah, like there was no sort of. And then another gripe that I had was that Kimmy's dress clashed with the couch that she was sitting on.
She also looked hella uncomfortable.
Yeah, she
Like
did.
she couldn't sit in that dress,
She did.
which was,
Um,
why would you put yourself in something that you can't comfortably sit in knowing that you have to sit?
yeah. So Stormi came. Stormi showed up for work. She And you know what? Actually, in regards to the 3-part reunion, Stormi didn't say much in the 2nd part, and I kind of realized she really is like the main attraction for the show, because that was the part that I was kind of like, yeah, well, sure. The first part, Stormi got the party moving. Okay,
Girl, her
got
and that damn
the
Tisha
party moving. Tisha, see, I don't buy it with Tisha because it doesn't feel authentic. It feels like it was
rehearsed.
rehearsed. It felt like like she had to have her get back. She didn't have enough about herself to be able to get back in the moment. So she had to like think about it. And that's not shade, because I'm a person, I can get back with you in the moment, but like my good shade, I do have to think a little bit. I have to process things a little bit. And then I'm like, oh, I should have said da, 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 da. You know what I mean? I'm one of those. So that's not shade. That's a real thing, but that's who she is. And with a contender like Stormi, you ain't never gonna win.
Mm-mm.
You ain't never gonna win.
I was very much Team Stormy in this matter because it's like, girl, like she was not, Stormy wasn't, yeah, she might have had a few little snippy whatever to say in the confessionals,
Mm-hmm.
but a lot of her snarkiness was relegated towards Marcel because Marcel
Definitely.
is catty, okay? Like he just is what it is. Um Tisha, just this season, it was just very like, I'm trying to be above the fray, but like you can't be above the fray if you still
You're
giving out
married to the fray. What do
BS.
you mean?
Well, not only that, but you still putting out BS. Like
Yeah,
as it relates to just the business stuff alone, when Stormy had approached her about it, it was super kind about it at that.
she was.
Like
She was very gracious.
this does make your business look bad. It makes
It
you look
does.
bad because at the end of the day, your name is attached to this. That person that did the website, we don't know them, don't care about them. This is something that's
Still
a
don't know who they are.
representation of you.
Yeah. It makes you look unprofessional. And like, so that's sort of my issue with these people, a lot of these people on reality shows. It's like nobody is asking for you to say, I personally am responsible. It was just like Stormy said, it's like all you have to say is my that was sloppy. I'm sorry. I did not know that was happening. And I have corrected it with my, whatever you call it, with graphic designer.
Hmm.
It's like that's all you have to say. Nobody's looking for you to fall on the ground and be at Stormy's feet pleading your case. Literally,
No,
all you had to say was like, just take responsibility. Like, I didn't double check that well, or that was
I can
sloppy
own
and I
that.
should have
That's
caught
on
that.
me. Yeah.
That's
You know
it.
what I'm saying? Like, but to stand there with your nose in the air and you like y'all was dead wrong.
You were wrong.
It's just
Absolutely wrong.
stupid. It's just stupid. Her whole attitude this whole season was just stupid. Like,
Yeah.
girl, you're not trying to resolve anything. Not that you was ever trying to resolve anything before. It's just like you have like this um lackluster mentality towards everything related to this show and the people and the conversations and whatever. And it's not working.
No, it's not. And then for her to say to Stormy, like, oh, you need to pay your invoices. People in Huntsville are always talking about your invoices. And I'm like, girl, a lot of large companies need to be reminded about their invoices. And I'm
Hello?
not saying that's an excuse. Like maybe you need a better accountant, maybe you need somebody, a better money manager so that your invoices can get paid on time. However, it is not uncommon for these invoices to go unpaid until somebody sends a reminder of like, hey, you owe me money.
Right. But then not only that, to Stormy's point, she was like that her business grew and blew up overnight. So
Yeah,
they had to play catch up to get to where they are now.
yeah,
Like, have that kind of criticism once you have been in those shoes, Tisha.
absolutely. And speaking of that, I really appreciated Stormy like getting her together and be like and letting the people know. I think she said it in the dressing room, but still the point stands like Stormy was had money, had notoriety, fame, all of the things before Love and Marriage Huntsville. They wanted her on the show because she already had it. Like
Hello?
a lot of the people on this show are getting it off the backs of Love and Marriage Huntsville. Not to
Hmm.
say they weren't successful in their own rights and they had degrees and they had um
They were millionaires, as
businesses, they
they
had
said.
construction companies, they had all the things, but I know for a fact that their businesses popped and that there a lot of this, you know, things have happened for them and moved along for them and the popularity and the notoriety has come because of this show.
Hmm. I just
So,
feel like it's unfortunate that this is the take that she has chosen. Like, this is the hill that she's chosen to die on. Because,
mhm.
like, girl, that is you've not been likable this season.
No, she has not.
And
Um,
like understandably, you're frustrated with everyone trying to come for your neck and come for the neck of your relationship with Marcel over the years. But a lot of the time people were coming for your neck because you had nothing to offer.
yeah, 100%.
People would walk
I
all over you.
Yeah, 100%. I wrote down Stormy's quote, I tried to give her grace, now I'm going to give her hell. I was like, that's a good tagline. That's a good Housewives tag.
Hello, it is.
Yeah,
It is.
it was good. It was good. Then they had the Marceau moment where he was on the hot seat with all the women around. Did
I
you
missed that.
on the first
Or maybe
March reunion?
I zoomed out.
It's been a couple of weeks from the very first episode, but um
Ooh, excuse me, y'all.
it was just like him just taking jab after jab after jab. And he just says nasty, horrible things to women. And I think it's disgusting. Um, I
What did
think
he
his
say?
like he was talking about Mel's t-shirt line. He was talking about Stormy and like kind of trying to downgrade what she's doing, in business and all of these things. And
Oh, all the cattiness throughout the season.
yeah, just like addressing all of his cattiness throughout the season. And it's just like and this goes back to our bigger conversation about Carlos King. Like he likes a woman, he likes a man that is not scared to get in women's business, and that is what Marceau is.
Women's been shout out to Nene Lee.
You in women's business. Marceau gives big Peter Thomas energy, big,
Girl.
huge. You in women's business. Patricia Thomas. Um, the last episode, like I said, wasn't really that good. Part two. Um, don't like how they're handling Keke's addiction this season. I
I don't
think
like that Keke is on this show.
that too.
I think that had she have gotten everything cleared and she was on the up and up and it was all in agreement that if you all talk about this experience in her life, it needs to be spoken as in the past. This is not her. Don't be throwing this at her now.
Yeah,
I
I
don't like that
agree.
she's on this show for the fact that that's the only thing that they're all gonna continue to hold over her head, and it's
Absolutely.
unfortunate.
I agree with you. I don't like it. I don't like it. And we talked a little bit about this before, but the family dynamics within these shows, it gets a little bit too deep and a little bit too serious in a way that I don't enjoy. Like I don't find it entertaining. I just find it like harmful and sad. So
Right.
like every time Keke does something erratic, it's like you're on drugs. You need to be tested. And on part 2 of the reunion, Marsau like kind of goes down this rabbit hole where he's talking about, oh, I used to have to come and pick you up off the street because you were high and like all of this stuff. And it's just like that is so tacky, and it's also, like, harmful for somebody who
Unnecessary.
is yeah, and it's harmful. It could be harmful for her if she watches that back and sees how someone is talking about her addiction. That could
Mm-hmm.
be very harmful and cause somebody to relapse, you know what I mean? Like,
Mm-hmm.
it's just it's I don't it's been disgusting the way they have handled addiction within this conversation. I mean, Carlos tried to clean it up a little bit at the end, to say like, I hope you get whatever help you need to manage your addiction. I know this is a difficult thing to manage, but
Mm-hmm.
for me the damage has already been done.
I mean, at the end of the day, all of this has been asked and answered from the moment that she came into the scene as a friend of Mel, and they talked about whatever experiences that she might have had back in the day with when Tiffany was there.
Yeah,
Like all this has been asked and answered. Like, why are
it
we
has.
still harping on this same thing? If you have nothing else to say, then clearly you aren't as smart as you think you are. Because like
Yeah.
shade can be thrown at a number of things that don't have anything to do with this woman's addiction.
Yeah. Yeah, and even with Carlos and the way she took that drug test with Mel, remember earlier in the season,
Yeah.
and they like were zooming in and saying like, "Oh, methadone didn't pop. I thought you were on methadone to manage your addiction. It should have showed up on the drug test," and like badgering her about it. And I'm just like, why is she taking drug tests in the parking lot? How is that even a thing? And like
Right.
producers are going in to witness her pee, like maybe not witness it like
But to make sure that
visual,
she's doing
but
it, yeah.
yeah, like Mel says that her and a producer went to like take the drug test with Keke. So they're like witnessing her doing like this is
Why?
disgusting.
Like, because none
Why?
of this is your business at the end
It's
of the
not.
day. None of that is anyone's business but homegirl, her husband, and whoever is in charge of the illegalities that she was dealing with.
Absolutely.
Nobody else needs to know about that. So the fact that they decided to put this woman's business on Front Street on this show as her
Mhm.
storyline is shitty.
It is. It is. And then Tiffany and Louis showed up. I I really feel like they just showed up to give a platform to postpartum depression, which I think is valuable, but again,
They
I
could have stayed at home.
could have. They could have.
Because you've
Um,
been giving nothing in the previous seasons. You damn sure not finna give nothing in
no,
this here season, nor this reunion that we having at this point. It's
no,
not, it just wasn't worth it.
no, it
You
wasn't.
should have been a friend of the show and never a main cast member. And that's really where I stand with it.
Agreed. And then Mel and Martell, of course, continue to get into it and on my nerves. Um, they just they don't like each other very much. And Martell, confessed that he wasn't any longer with his child's mother, but also Mel was like, "Yeah, you are, because every time I talk to you, or every time I talk to my kids over there, she's there. So what do you mean that y'all
Mhm.
are not together? You know what I mean?"
And not
Um,
only that, but they was just a couple of weeks ago on social media.
yeah,
She was on
and,
live and he popped up in the background like who me or whatever the case. And I understand that the intention on Martell's part is to keep his name relevant so he can stay on the
mhm,
show. But like, honey, it's been a whole lot of unrelevant people on reality shows. It's
absolutely,
fine. At this point, you're part of the background.
yeah, for truly, he can go. Honestly, Mel can go too. Really, she can be like, who is that? Mariah on Married to Med and be in the executive producer credits.
Listen,
And
I've been saying that Mel needed to go because she was insufferable. She
yeah, she
didn't want to
was.
film with any of these people. Her attitude has been shitty for the last several seasons.
Yeah.
You don't want to be bothered. It's like it's a chore for you to do any of these scenes. Girl,
Mm-hmm.
get the hell on and move around. Like
Yeah.
you don't need to be here.
But
You
as it
make a
relates to
big bang.
Martell, I definitely took her point that, you know, no, she's not terribly comfortable with the woman who she basically plotted to take her life and succeeded is over there with her kids. Like, no, I'm not comfortable with that. You know, she was harassing me and DMing me and calling the house and calling and asking for Martell. Like, I wouldn't be comfortable with that shit either. And I'm not a big like blame the other woman type of girly. I'm like, y'all
Mhm.
got one person in common, and that's that man.
That
So
man,
you should
hello.
blame him first. But also, like some of the side chicks, they are reckless and they don't care, and they are loud and proud about it. And so, to that end, you know, you get what you deserve.
Agreed.
So
I I don't know that they can really top. I feel like this show is going down.
yeah.
Like it's not really good anymore, or they were gonna have to recast.
I agree. They need to bring in new energy. I think they were hoping that Tiffany and Louis could bring some new energy, and they did not. They did
No.
nothing.
The best energy they brought was having Stormi on the show and the chaos of their
Absolutely.
family.
Yeah.
I would even say that they could bring back Destiny if she's gonna actually tell her story.
Yeah.
Because the stuff that we talked about a couple of weeks ago, when we were talking about the celebrity breakdown and all the people dealing with their illegality, she was one of.
Mm,
And
true.
so, like, if you can actually talk about what's happening in your life, then sure, you can be a part of this here cast and collect this bag. But like, if you're not going to do that, then you don't need to be here.
Well, I don't feel like Destiny really enmeshed herself with the cast anyway. So I don't, there was no great loss for her. But this is Stormy's show. I feel like they need to start building a world around Stormy and move the rest of these people out of the way because they are just not interesting. We have seen it's what we talk about all the time with term limits. You know what I mean? Like we have seen the alliances shift. We have seen the people fall out. We have seen them get back together. Mel and Tisha, for instance, we have seen it all. And I don't think that these people have anything more to share. So this at
Yeah.
this point is it's Stormy show. Let's build a world around Stormy. Let's follow her for a few seasons. Let's phase these other couples out and see what Stormy can do with this show.
I mean, hello. But then, I mean, I would hate for it to just, crash and burn because we putting all this hope on Stormy's back and she may not be able to carry a show either.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's what I mean when I say build a world around her and start phasing the other ones out. Like, of course, they're gonna have to do one more season, of course, with like everybody. But I think they can start phasing out for sure Mel and Martell, if nobody else, and get a real couple in there, one of Stormy's friends or business associates or whatever, to kind of like start moving people out of the way. That's what
Mm-hmm.
I think. Like a good friend of, um, and start moving people around.
So we're gonna see y'all. Drop down in the comments and let us know if you caught these first two halves of this damn reunion and what your
Mhm.
thoughts are. Will you be watching the last episode? Still don't understand why there's three.
I will because I want to hear Stormy's family, and they're going to
They're
talk
actually on
about
a reunion? Wow.
yeah, Stormy's cousin and her mom are going there, and mom has already lit into Melody, I think a little bit. I can't remember if that was the preview or if that happened at the end of this one. So her mom is not pleased with Melody, and I like to see somebody bring Melody to the table from time to time. That's not Martell because I don't
All
like
these
Martell.
M's.
I don't like Martell at all. And Kimmy and Maurice are just sitting there for decoration at this point. Like they didn't even
They
have
don't really have
much
no
to say.
storyline, but I mean, also she's coming off of having had a traumatic experience over the last year and a
Absolutely.
half.
So
So
I'm gonna give grace for that. But
yeah,
again,
understandably so.
yeah.
So we're gonna see how it all shakes out.
All right. Well, until next time, like, comment, subscribe, and we will be back with some more mess.
Bye, friends.
Bye.